everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Vince?
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, Vince?
Today we're talking about Funko figures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are they overproduced?
Oh.
Yeah.
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 What do you think?
I think that they can make as many as they want, and I'll buy the ones I want.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
And,
okay, we're done.
Which, I find it interesting that there are people out there that are trying to collect them all, or at least they have.
That's nuts, really. They're like $12 a piece.
Yeah, or $10, depending on where you go. But, some of them
regular price is between 12 and 14. If you find them for 10, that's on sale. I haven't seen any place selling that cheap all the time.
Barnes and Noble sells them pretty normally for about $9.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. All right. But even still.
Yeah, it's still quite a lot. And I've seen people with pictures of their Funko collection, and it's like to the ceiling, covering a wall. It's just, there's so many of them. And, one of the things that we heard a lot from when we were doing our documentary trip was that was kind of a big thing. People would come in, they'd see one of those in the window, they'd come in and buy one, not because they like comics or figures, but because they like the thing it's based on.
Yeah, the pop culture thing is so in right now.
And, I think the reason I thought that I was thinking, how many licenses do they have right now, and how much can they produce and not lose money?
I want to know how they get that buying power.
Yeah,
that they can. I don't know how they do it. They seem to be able to license just about anything. Just when I think, oh, here's a big license they don't have, suddenly they have. Like for a while, it was like, okay, like so many things, like Pez was for so many years. They got Star Wars, but no Star Trek. Nope, they got that now. Just everything. And really obscure stuff.
And
they'll make anything.
Yeah, they do have it. Recently, they just released one thing that I kind of want to get for my wife, even. It's the Disney stuff from Robin Hood. Yeah. And it just surprises me how many things they have. And they're branching out into other kinds of figures. I assume that they've been around for a while, and it wasn't just the pop figures, because they've released the reaction figures recently, which don't look entirely different from Burger King toys, but they're like $15 a piece.
Well, it's not Burger King toys. The idea behind them is that they're supposed to look like the kind of cheaply produced original Star Wars figures, and that's why they're under detailed and don't look that great, because they're trying to be authentic to what the really like. I don't know if you've ever gotten your hands on those, but that's what the first run Star Wars figures look like.
Yeah, they did. That's true. And the reason I say Burger King was because when I saw that they released a Wolfman figure, and I picked it up, and then I looked at my Wolfman figure that's literally from Burger King, it was almost identical.
Yeah.
And I went, holy crap, look at that. And I still kind of want it. It's too much. I don't want to spend $15 to $20
Honestly,
on one of them,
I don't know if I would spend $9 or $10 on one of those.
Yeah.
There have been some 10. I've been slightly tempted by just because of what they are until I get up close and look at them, and I go, I get the joke. It's kind of fun, I guess. Yeah. But okay, tell me if you have this. Sometimes my thing with buying stuff that's so ultra produced, like that's so mass produced, I have a hard time getting excited to buy one because I see them everywhere I go. Do you ever have that? Where I'm like, why do I need that in my house? Every time I walk into a store, I see one. I see it all the time anyway. What's the point? You know what I mean?
It's almost like I own it already.
And I know it sounds weird coming from me because I've always been kind of mainstream guy. Between us, you're always the indie guy, I'm always the mainstream guy. But obviously, I'm being too broad when I say that. There's mainstream Vince likes and there's indie I like, but that's true. But that is,
And there's also Indiana.
That's true, and it's kind of eerie. But anyway, but that's
or Jonesy.
So me being the mainstream guy, it's maybe kind of weird for me to say, oh, I don't know if I would want that in my house, because anybody that came over would be like, oh, I know where that came from. And yet,
or
sometimes
pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, but every now and again, I'll have that with certain things where I'm like, I don't know, I can't get excited about it. I see it everywhere, like if it was super cheap. But also maybe my tastes in buying things have changed, because we did a collection video a while back where we discussed this for a while, and I kind of realized, I kind of psychoanalyzed myself in that video and realized that I have kind of gotten to a place where I don't want to collect every single thing that has Batman on it.
Yeah,
like I used to.
That's almost an impossible feat. Almost. That isn't impossible for you. You have to have lots and lots of money.
I never did it on purpose, right? It's like I have to have everything. It's just that, you know, I'd see a thing and be like, oh, that's cool, it's cheap, it's got Batman on it. But now, like, I'm a little bit more particular. Maybe that's what it is. But with the pop figures, so I don't know, I feel that way more with the retro figures because there's only so many of them. I mean, they're making a lot. With the pop figures, there's so many different ones that I feel like I could buy certain ones and people might come over and look at them and be like, oh, I've never seen that one before.
Oh, that's fair. I could see. You know, I was talking to somebody today, and that's what kind of spawned this topic. Was I was talking with somebody today about the reaction figures, and they said, "Man, I just keep spending all my money on those things, and it surprises me what they don't have out there." And I said, "Well, you know, it surprises me what they have out there for the pop figures. It almost surprises me that these guys are focusing their attention elsewhere. I mean, you look at some of the other stuff that they're putting out, like the randomized figures." I don't understand how they make money with that.
The randomized, I don't know what that is.
Like where you have a box. That's not like the brand name, but there's like Doctor Who. Then there's like sci-fi.
No,
horror.
You're talking about Blind Bag.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And that stuff, I just don't understand how somebody would just pay $8-10.
Here's what I don't get about it.
Random.
The part I don't get is I've talked to people that buy those, spend that much on them, and tell me they don't mind if they get duplicates.
Yeah, I don't be annoyed.
I don't get that. I mean, I get that you could turn them over. Mm-hmm. You could go on eBay and sell them and probably get your money back, but not much more, and we both know the hassles of eBay. Why would you want to do that? Like
I mean, the only reason I would do that is for getting the one that I want. But you know what? Like recently, the science fiction line that came out within the last few months, they have a Rocketeer one in there. I want it. But if you go on eBay just to buy it, it's like between $50 and $100. It's ridiculous.
I'm really surprised that Blind Bag has gotten as big as it has, especially as expensive as that stuff can get.
What I don't understand.
That was fun when we were kids with cards.
Yeah,
you know,
because it was cheap.
Because it was cheap, but like when it's $8-10 a pop, I think that the issue is I want to collect everything from a line some of the time. If I'm gonna go for a line. And again, when I was a kid, I didn't do this. I'd like get the ones that I liked, but like I don't buy as many figures now. So a lot of time, if I go for one, I get the whole line. Like I did that with the '60s Batman figures. You know, they're like $20 a piece, but at least I knew what I was getting. But with Blind Bag, it's like, okay, if you spend that much and you don't get the one that you want, then you gotta go back. And I guess I could see how that's kind of fun if it's cheap enough. Like Jason and I were buying those little Heroes Balls things. You remember those?
Those are like
they're $1 a piece. Yeah, I didn't mind it if we got a duplicate, but yeah, I guess it's about price then.
And you know,
and size.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand how these things continue to get made and how more continue to get made, because every store that I've gone into that has the Blind Bag figures, they almost never sell them. Like, they might sell 1 out of 50. And I've talked to the store owners, and I go, why do you order that stuff? Or, like, especially the corporate chains. They say, well, they just send me this stuff, and I try to sell it. But I don't think we've sold one in a month or two.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you devote so much space to this crap that nobody buys? And how is it that Funko can stay alive doing this stuff? I mean, how do they buy so many licenses, and how do they buy... How do they produce so much random crap?
See, I'm not surprised that works, because the fact that they are in so many places tells me how well they're selling. And the thing is, they don't produce as many of the ones that are kind of more obscure.
That's fair.
As many, I would imagine. There's some that get kind of rare, I think. They're also not expensive to make. There's no way those are expensive to make.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably hook up your...
They're light. I mean, there's no way these are that expensive to put together.
You could probably hook up a 3D printer and put one together.
Well, I mean, that's probably not what they're doing, but yeah, but yeah, I suppose eventually you could. But yeah, I mean, okay, let's talk about quality of them. I mean, like, when they came out, I was sort of like, okay, once again, another kind of cutesy thing. They're stylized, they're silly looking, they're really kiddish looking. They like, at first I didn't care for them, and then they grew on me, and I had the exact same thing with those that I did with Mighty Mugs.
Yeah, you know what's funny
grew on me.
Mighty Mugs.
These I like better than Mighty Mugs, actually.
I like these a lot better than Mighty Mugs. I feel like the designs are more patterned to the characters. Like, even if you look at like Ka or Sir Hiss from Robin Hood.
Yeah.
If you look at these things, they're coiled up bodies. It's not just the same body painted to look like a different character with maybe some different parts glued onto it. This is a significantly different piece. It's patterned to be like the Beast. And that's what I like about these figures, is that they're wholly different. Now, Mighty Mugs are fun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they were a different thing. It's kind of apples and oranges. Like I guess it just, I would probably collect those more, and I can kind of see why Mighty Mugs went out of fashion when they did. Because those are more like, you know, it's a painted figure. They're all the exact same, and then they just paint a face and a body on it. And like I think. And it's cool that they put out blank ones. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that you can just buy one and paint on it.
Or like the Moneys and the Dunnies that come out that are just blank figures, or they're just painted figures. Same thing. Like I think the Money is the one that looks like a monkey, and the Dunny is the one that looks like a rabbit. But
the Mighty Mug thing certainly was a phase, and I don't know how much it had to do with I'm kind of buying the same shape every time. When do these go out of fashion?
That's the thing, is I don't know, because I like these a lot, and if they release the ones that I want, I will continue to buy. If they release Blues Brothers and Punisher, I'll buy them. Can you believe that they've made like a Rocketeer, but they've not made the Punisher yet?
That's weird.
That is weird.
There was a Punisher Mighty Mug.
Yeah. Which I have the Punisher Mighty Mug, and I love his little gun. It's hilarious.
See, I wonder if there is not like a certain number that they make for certain companies where it's like Marvel, they have like a set number, and then eventually they'll do like another wave or whatever. Like maybe they're saving certain characters because they're like, we don't want to just make a bunch of like new versions of the same character or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe they want it to coincide with a movie, but then again, I
doubt they're thinking about it.
My shirt just got hooked on the chair.
I doubt they're thinking about it that far out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because if you look at what's in this line, there's Doom, Ghost Rider, Silver Surfer, Deadpool, Beast, and Dark Phoenix. I mean, surely Doom did not correspond with a movie at that point.
Right.
Yeah, last year.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with movies necessarily.
So I just kind of wonder what their choice is, and I guess
it seems arbitrary to me. And then you look at some of the weird obscure ones. It is arbitrary.
Yeah. Like, oh look, you guys got Shmaboogie from the Umdugu tribe. Name that video.
That's an obscure Superman. and or what's that movie?
The Godfather?
Godfather character. It's a Superman and or Godfather character.
That's right.
Anyway.
I think or is the... It's just an or character.
We just don't know. It's an or character. I have not gotten super into these yet. I've bought a couple here and there for Jason. There are several that I've considered collecting, but like I said, it's kind of a line thing where there's certain ones where if I start on it, I'm gonna want to get more of them. Like the Ninja Turtle ones are really cool, but I don't want to get one.
Yeah.
You know, and there's like 7 or 8 of those. You know what's weird? There are 4 for Roger Rabbit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's crazy. They made a Judge Doom figure. That's really cool.
Yeah, see,
and one of the Weasels. Really?
Yeah.
There's a Weasel pop figure? That's crazy.
You know, I don't want all of the Turtles. I have the 4 guys, and I have Shredder, and I have Splinter.
Oh, so, have you really gone that far? I didn't know you got any of them.
No, that's the thing, though. Is my wife bought me the 4-pack from Amazon, which...
Oh, cool.
Which was exclusive to Amazon, so it glows in the dark.
That's awesome.
And so what's funny is that they don't glow that brightly, so I'll turn off my light and I'll look over and I'll think I see a glowing turtle, but I'm not sure. But
it's placebo glowing figure.
And I have the Shredder and the Splinter because they were a half price at Vintage, so I picked those up. The one I really want is Casey Jones. I really want Casey Jones.
I didn't realize there was a Casey Jones one. Oh, okay. That'd be why.
So it seems like the ones I really want them to make, they've not made yet, except for the Ghostbusters.
We started this with comic shops, and I want to go back there for a minute too. So we went to several shops on the trip for the documentary that had these, and then I talked to William about them. And William, at Elite Comics here in Kansas City, and William doesn't carry them because everybody else does. He doesn't like to carry anything that you could get at the big box stores. And I find it interesting that a lot of those comic stores don't have that same philosophy about it. And if they're selling them and they're doing well with them, great. But I'm a little surprised they are. Like, are you surprised, Vince, that those are getting people off the street. Like, maybe they just haven't seen them in the box stores, or maybe they're like some of the comic shops and other novelty stores are carrying so many of them that they've got a bunch that you don't find at the box stores. But then when I go to, like, Hot Topic or whatever, I usually see a bunch I've never seen before, so...
Hot Topic gets a lot of exclusives, too.
Is that what it is?
So, I mean...
But right Vintage's selection's usually pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. Vintage gets a lot of pretty good ones, but then you go into Hot Topic and, like, half their shelf are the exclusive ones to them. And that kind of bothers me a wee bit when I see all of these exclusive figures, especially when I see, like, random exclusive figures. I'm like, oh, look, Ariel from Little Mermaid with shades.
Oh, okay, yeah, like, where you've got the variants or whatever, yeah.
I kind of get annoyed by variants. So you think
they're milking it a little bit?
I think they are milking it. Like,
oh no, I'm with you with variants. I mean, I think variants are cool when it's another version of a character that you really would want to have a figure for. You know what I mean? Where like if you like for instance, the Watchmen figures when the movie came out, they had a Rorschach, and then they had a not really rare because I found one, but they had a rarer variant of that figure that is the same figure but without the mask on. That's cool. Yeah. Because there's places in the movie where he doesn't wear the mask, and like, am I upset just because they didn't make it a brand new figure? No, it's a variant. But when the variant is, because we had a lot of this in the '90s with like Spawn figures and like Star Trek Next Generation figures. Star Trek was the worst, where it'd be like, you've got a figure, because I'm trying to buy all those, but not necessarily the weird variants. And it's like, oh, this person has like slightly different colored shoes or something. You're like, really? And
oh, look, he has brown laces on this one.
And people would buy it just to have a complete set. And sometimes I don't understand collecting. I consider myself a collector. I've collected for years. There are times, Vince, I don't understand it. Like for me, it's a matter of representation. Mm-hmm. I've got like what is representative of all the major characters or aspects or parts of a thing, right? When it's just for the sake of everything they put, people that buy like all 20 covers of something when like Dynamite puts out a book, and and I'm like, I don't know, it's $4 a pop. Is anybody impressed with that? Do you do it because people come over and they're like, cool, you have all those? I don't know. Like,
and I feel like they're too easy to make variants for. Like, especially some of those like really rare variants where all they did was add a little extra splash of paint and they sell it for $200 more on the internet. But, for example, the San Diego Comic-Con variants, all super expensive on eBay. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like these people go there, buy them out, and then sell them on eBay. Which is I understand, but it's kind of a jerk store move.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, sell them for a little bit more, but it's not like there's a super short supply. I mean, they're all over the place. They're just terribly expensive because people want a lot for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So anyway, that's our 2 cents on the pop figures. If we got to see this many of them all over the place, I'm glad they're cool. Yeah. I like them.
I like that they have a whole bunch of different properties, so eventually we get the ones we want, and I'm looking forward to Blues Brothers if they ever get around to that.
I thought they already did that.
Nope.
Oh! I totally thought they did that.
Nope.
Okay, all right. Anyway, the one thing I will mention, too, is that there have been times where I've looked at these and picked one up and did not realize it was a bobblehead until I bought it. Like, I don't think that they do a real good job of making sure you know if it's a bobblehead or not on the thing. Like, it says it on it,
I mean, it's this really
kind of tiny
text that's not as bright as the rest of the box.
The problem is, in the box, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Because not only is it not really bouncing, but because of the way it's swished in there, the head is down like this far. Mm-hmm. So it's I mean, like if I were to do this and show it to you on camera, you can't tell that's a bobblehead. So anyway,
it just clasps them in. I don't mind the bobbleheads, but I prefer the vinyl figures.
No, I don't. I guess I don't either. It's just I didn't know that when I bought it. I like to know what I'm getting. That's all.
And you bought it for your kids, so that's different.
Yeah, that was a little different.
I mean, oh yeah, his head totally bobbles. See that? 100% locked in there. Okay, I'm done.
Let's go and go on to rants, Vince.
Oh yeah, rants.
What is your rant for today?
My rant for today is people that are selling things on the internet. Coincidentally.
I hate that, man. People just need to quit and just knock that off, Vince.
Those terrible people.
Yeah.
One of the things that drives me nuts is when I'm selling stuff on eBay.
He is. I used to sell things on eBay all the time.
Some Ninja Turtles figures on eBay.
Then I realized that was the worst thing a person could possibly do, and I quit doing it.
I'm trying to get the rest of the Matty Ghostbuster figures, or at least a chunk of them. And one of the things that's kind of driving me nuts is I'll look around on eBay, or I'll look around on other, like, even legit stores that are selling stuff secondhand, and I look at how much they're selling things that are still for sale from the original seller. It drives me nuts. Like right now, if you go to eBay, you can get Peter Venkman with the Proton Stream for like 50 or for like 40 or 50 bucks. You can go to MattyCollector.com and still buy that figure for original price. As a matter of fact, if you bought it last week, it was $5 off. And the same thing with the Ray that comes with the no ghost symbol. Same thing with the Proton, with the Neutrino Wand and the Ecto goggles. All of this stuff is for sale for the original price at MattyCollector.com. And then you go to eBay, and these people are trying to hawk this thing for more like it's a collector's item now. And I'm like, no, this stuff is still available.
Does it ever crack you up, like, the kind of just what has become some of my and your regular vernacular now? Just like the sorts of things that come up in just regular, average, everyday conversation. Ecto goggles.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ecto goggles and Neutrino Wand. Yeah.
I just want to put it into perspective. Like, we lead different lives.
Proton Stream.
Yeah.
I took my phone to T-Mobile.
Boson Dart.
Boson. It's all very serious stuff.
Yeah, really it is.
I took my phone to T-Mobile to have them work on it.
We're not playing around, you know. I'm sorry.
And T-Mobile.
Oh, did you get that fixed?
Nope.
Oh,
they're going to send me a new one.
Anyway, sorry.
But I took it to T-Mobile because the location doesn't work very well, and the SD card slot barely works at all. So it keeps unloading. Anyway.
We should just do a whole video talking about nothing but mundane life stuff that has nothing to do with geeky stuff whatsoever. It's like, this is 30 minutes of Vince and I having a regular conversation where Vince is like, oh, my phone's all messed up. Oh, that sucks, Vince. You should try to go get that fixed. And then we just film it. How many views do you think that would get?
Oh, probably
at least
about
5
or so. I'm going to guess 100.
100?
Yeah, I mean, considering like a regular video we post probably gets, I don't know, between 400 and a couple thousand.
Yeah.
What the topic is.
Yeah.
This will at least get 100.
Yeah.
Because people will click on it and go, this is stupid.
Yeah. Because it would be. Anyway, I'm sorry.
But I took my phone to T-Mobile, and this girl's like, "Oh, you really like the Ghostbusters, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And because I had Slimer for the wallpaper on the screensaver or screen lock, and then she swipes through it, and it's the Ghostbuster symbol. And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. If I'm gonna text, it's the proton sound. If I get a call, it's the Ecto One's siren."
At least my phone, it's like several different geeky things of different properties.
That's
it's not
true.
All Ghostbusters.
I basically made a PKE meter for myself, and then
mine's more like a tricorder with Batman on it,
and I think a Mario sound or two at one point. No,
not on mine.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
I chose not to do that one because that's too easy.
It's like what everybody does. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, I want that coin.
I don't know why more people don't do the Sonic ring, because that sounds cooler.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have more rant?
Nope.
Okay, well, my rant today is very simple. I don't know if this is a thing that's happening with other comics, but this is a thing I saw this week, and I went, that is a poor use of advertising space. So this is Secret Six #1. Reviewed this week on New Comic Reviews, and my weekly top 5 countdown. Secret Six #1. Okay, now, what is the last thing you would expect to see advertised in Secret Six #1, Vince? What is the very last thing you would expect to see advertised?
Tampons.
Okay, well, this is not going to be as juicy as people might think it is now. The last thing I would expect, besides things like that, comic book-wise, Vince, comic book-wise.
All I'm saying is that people tend to be a little...
What is the last comic book you would expect to see advertised in Secret Six #1?
The Incredible Hulk.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Sure.
The very last comic book for DC, stuff that I would actually think could be advertised in a book.
I just said a name.
No, that's totally cool. In Secret Six #1 is Secret Six #1.
That's great.
What a poor use of advertising! What is the point of that? You already bought it! I mean, like one. Come on. It's not even the next issue. It's not even generically read secret. It's the cover you're looking at.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
It's not even come back and buy issue 2.
This is completely useless. Even if you're flipping through it in a store and you haven't bought it yet, the same cover you're looking at is not going to entice you to pick it up.
That's really funny.
Can you believe that? I've never seen that. Never in a million years have I seen that. I want to say that's a mistake. I want to say they messed that up.
Or they had an extra page and they're like, screw it, toss the cover.
Put it. But there are other ads that I have seen in other DC comics in the last couple of weeks that they could have put in there that are not in this issue.
That's awesome.
They also are still using the they're also still using the same Constantine advertisement that they were using on week 1. So it's like season premiere October 24th. Well, that was 2 months ago, guys. Wow, month and a half. Like, really? I mean, that's not as big of a deal because at least you're not reading Constantine from NBC. It's great. I've never seen anything like that, Vince. I was gonna mention that on comic reviews this week, and I went, no, I'm gonna save it.
I mean, I've seen TV shows where in the commercials they advertise the show you're watching. But that's ridiculous.
Sarah said that too. I showed this to her, and she said, "Well, yeah, at least it's not like when you're watching a TV show, and just before commercial, it shows you part of a scene that you're gonna see in 10 minutes." Imagine, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Imagine, Vince, if you were reading a comic book, you got 8 pages in, and it was like coming up, and then 3 pages later, you see the panels that it just showed you. Even that is not quite as dumb as this.
The editor of DC has Vince show up to his door and slap him in the face for, by the way, coming up. All right, I'm putting down my comic and I'm driving to DC. Not Washington.
Obviously, you wouldn't have that in a comic book because you've already paid for it. They do that on TV because they're trying to keep you around for the advertising space. Yep. It doesn't work though. I have turned off things because they've done that. That irritates me. What I mean is, like, I'll tape it and watch it later because I'm like, well, you're spoiling things, and sometimes they spoil major important plot points.
By the way, somebody's gonna die here in about 20 minutes. The show just started.
Yeah. They'll do it on scripted TV. They'll do it on reality TV.
Yeah, but on reality TV, who cares?
Well, I do if it's a show I'm liking, because the problem is, okay, so you're watching like a reality show where it's a competition, right?
Sure.
Isn't it more fun to find out what the challenge is in the moment than when the show opens? Like that's really the only surprise they have besides who gets voted off and who wins the challenge. They have 3 possible surprises in a show like that. Who gets voted off, who wins a challenge, and what the challenges are.
Maybe they think that nobody watches their show regularly.
They sure act like it.
They're like, well, you guys obviously don't watch this show unless what the subject is going to interest you, so here's everything we have that's relevant.
Makes sense, though, because for most of those things, the subject is the same every week.
Yeah, and I like it when they shove things in your face and say, here, eat this, and then you're like, all right, cool, and then you get a tummy ache because, you just saw what happens in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's breaking the fourth wall, physically. Anyway, well, all right, thanks so much for watching. We sure appreciate it. If there's anything you'd like us to talk about in a future video, leave that in the comments or send it to geekvolution.com through the contact page. I will be more likely to see it if you send it through the contact page. So if there's something you really want us to talk about, send it there. Also, if you have anything you want to mention about the pop figures, which ones have you guys been buying? I almost held up an empty box. Which ones have you guys been buying? We'd like to know. Leave your comments as always. And thanks so much for watching. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince, reminding you to support your local pop figure store. Excuse me, comic book store.
Yeah, except for the ones that don't have that.
That's true.
But support them anyway, because
they
probably have things you can't get at Hot Topic.
Or pop figure stores.
Yeah.